What's up guys, it's your boy Alo, and today I'm hitting y'all with some tips that I used personally to hit Immortal. Now today I'm bringing some tips that are underrated and that people don't really talk about when referring to climbing the ladder, but I believe that they are super important to getting better at the game, and these are just some general things that will help out every player at every rank. But I use these like towards diamond to get out of diamond and to get into Immortal, which I recently hit. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into the first tip. So the first tip I'm going to be talking about is mindset, and mindset is something that I don't really hear enough when people give advice. I feel like a good mindset can genuinely carry you through the ranks, boys, if I'm being honest. Now, what do I mean by how mindset can carry you? Well, overthinking and tilt are kind of the main two negatives and things that weigh players down, right? We all know when you get tilted, like, you just play awful. You can't aim, you can't think, you can't do anything. You can just think about how mad you are. Personally, I'm notorious for malding, boys. Like, I love me a good mauled session, but that's besides the point. Now, tilt can just destroy a good player, and I mean this genuinely. I've seen so many people who are good at the game just get run over by tilt, and having a good mindset that kind of gets you away from that tilted state can be really huge for someone, you know. So just tilt should be avoided at all costs, and I believe a good mindset can help you avoid tilt, which obviously everyone wants, because who wants to be mad when you're playing Valorant, am I right? Now, I've been bringing up the topic of mindset a lot, but what do I really mean by mindset? Well, mindset is just the way that you think about the game. And I don't mean like mechanics wise, like predicting the enemy or anything like that. No, I just mean like how you feel about the game and like how you think going into a game, like in terms of emotions instead of in terms of information and things like that. So the mindset that I've been using personally that got me through diamond is actually Dragon Mar's rule of thirds. Now, I don't know if he came up with it or not, but this is where I heard it first from, and I believe that this information needs to be passed on because this is super good in terms of mindset. Basically, the rule of thirds is your games are split into 3 different categories. Thirds, obviously, which is where the name comes from, the rule of thirds. So what do these games mean, really? Well, that's what I'm going to go into now. So basically, the first third is you're going to win all of your games. Not all of your games, but in this quadrant, or third, I guess, you would win all of your games. You could be playing super bad, because I know you guys play bad. I play bad all the time. You just have off days, you know? Off days, off games. So basically, like, you still win on those off days, right? Like, you still win. So like, you could be having just a super bad day, but you're gonna win the game. You're gonna win the game. A third of your games, you're winning them. And like, regardless of how bad you play or how good the enemy is, you're gonna win, because your team is gonna either carry you, or the enemy's just gonna suck, or, you know, some other third factor. Like, I don't know, maybe you just maybe just use a judge all game, you know. Like, maybe you just stop trying to aim, and that's the thing that gets you through the game. But yeah, so in this third, you're gonna win. That's what this third means. So the next third that I'm going to be discussing is the third where you actually lose, regardless of what you do. So this can include levers, cheaters, even though I haven't really encountered any cheaters because Vanguard is a super good anti-cheat system. But, you know, cheaters, smurfs, levers, as I previously stated, anything like that. Maybe the enemy team's just having a really good day. Maybe everyone on the enemy team is just shooting like demons, and you just can't get a single shot on before your head gets taken off by a deagle and their eco, and you lose the 50, and that's the round, and you lose 5 more because of that, and it's like snowballing, and it's just really sad. But yeah, so in this third, you lose the games regardless of how good you do, and, you know, you might even match MVP or team MVP or whatever and still just get rolled, and that kind of sucks. But, you know, unlucky, man. Like, whenever this happens, you just need to say unlucky, go next. Like, you can obviously differentiate this game from the last third, which I'm going to be bringing up soon. But yeah, I mean, if there's just nothing you can do, you can't really dwell on it, you know. And I feel like that's what this mindset focuses on. You can't dwell. You just got to move on to the next. It's just GG's, go next. Unlucky, we lost this, go next. previously, it would be unlucky, or wait, no, lucky we won. Go next. Let's go. I'm on a winning streak. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the games are just out of your control, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, boys. You gotta get used to it. It's Valorant. And so for our final third, we have the games that you, not me, not your team, not the enemy team, but you control. And this is the most important section of the rule of thirds, in my opinion, obviously, because you're the one with the impact. So in this portion of games, you're at fault here. You're at fault for winning or losing. And I know, like, a lot of people don't like taking responsibility. Shoot, boys, a lot of the time I don't take taking responsibility. It doesn't feel good for if you take your responsibility for a lost round or a lost game even. Shoot, my first time in all my Diamond 3 promotion game, I completely threw, if I'm being honest. I swung in a 4v2 and lost my gunfight because I was nervous. I was so nervous. I wanted to hit Immortal so bad. It was 11-11 and I swung out and died. But that's besides the point. That's just an example of how this portion affects your games. So you are the impact here. You might have a good team. You might have a bad team. The enemy might be good. The enemy might be bad. None of that matters in this section. It's you. Your performance matters. Your impact. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be top fracking. You need to be match MVPing. I mean, obviously that helps. But I feel like timing and utility matters a lot more, which I'll be discussing later in the video. But yeah. So it's your impact that matters the most in these games. And these are the games that you should be worrying about. The other 66% of your games, 2/3, 2 out of 3 of your games, you should not be concerned with about your performance. Obviously your performance matters. Maybe you could have won the game, whatever. But this is truly what matters. And your performance is so integral in this portion of games, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, if you clutch up, like how many clutches you get, how many deagle one taps you hit, how many first picks you get, how many post plants you play well. It's just everything like that. It all comes together, and it helps determine if you win or lose this game. And yeah, that's basically the rule of thirds, guys. This is a super helpful way to look at the game, and it just kind of helps you avoid tilt and just helps you move on to the next game and not dwell, because dwelling, I think, is the worst thing you can do in Valorant. Genuinely, dwelling is super bad. So don't do that, boys. If you take one thing away from this, it's don't dwell on your games, because if you dwell, you're not going to climb. You're going to be too sad, focused on the game that you just lost 113 instead of the game that you're in right now that's 5-7 on split CT side, and you can win it for free. So yeah, just don't dwell on your games, boys. I'm telling you. My second tip for you guys is less aggression after kills. So let's say you swing Ascent mid, and you swing from catwalk and you're peeking into tiles, and you get a pick, and let's just say you're playing Jet or Reyna, and you can just get out with a dash or a dismiss, or even not. Maybe you're playing Sova. Maybe you just back out into cover. So after you get your pick, you don't need to re-swing. I've seen so many people do this, even in high diamond. I've seen people in mid Immortal do this in my games. I've seen people do this. They'll re-swing because they're greedy and they want another kill. And all of a sudden, you go from a 5v4 completely, like, you could just steamroll them for the rest of the round with your numbers. And now all of a sudden it's a 4v4. And sometimes your buddy will try to swing out to get your trade, and then he'll die because there's 3 people swinging tiles now instead of 1. And now you're both molding. Your team is sad because you're in a numbers disadvantage. And now you guys are going to lose the round because you decided to re-swing. So what's the moral of the story here? The moral of the story is re-swing. If you get your pick, back up. You don't need another one. You already did your job. You did your job. Yeah, I know. You got your 1 kill. If that's all you do for the round, that's insane. First blood and you don't get traded? That's genuinely some of the highest impact you could have in a Valorant round. And I mean that, boys. I really do mean that. So after you get your picks, you get out of there. I do not care how bad you want that other kill. You get out. You don't troll. Trust me, it's going to get you a long way. And it's going to make your scoreboard look better too. Your KD is going to be through the roof if you're getting 1 kill and getting out and not re-swinging and dying. You're going to be like 5.0 because I know you guys are talented like that. Yeah, basically, boys, just stop re-swinging after kills. I see it way too often. And people don't talk about it ever. People always are just so kill thirsty. and no one knows to not re-swing. It's really crazy to me, honestly. So if you, after this video, if I see you guys re-swinging, I'm gonna be mad. Oh, I'm gonna be mad indeed. So don't do it. Don't make me mad, boys. Make me proud. Now, I've seen many people think that flexing onto agents in different roles is good and it helps a team, which, yeah, in theory it does. But let me let you guys in on a little secret. It doesn't. It actually throws games away. If you understand, let's just say, if you understand Viper as a character, and you've been playing Viper since release, you haven't played any other character, you love Viper, but all of a sudden, someone's playing Omen. And then someone picks Cypher. And now you're, like, you don't have a job, right? Like, your smokes, you don't want to play smokes because you already have an Omen. So you just figure, I'll play Sova. He's a good character. He's good into this comp. But let me be honest with you. That's kind of a throw. Don't pick Sova, pick Viper. Even if you've played Sova in the past, or anyone really, it doesn't have to be Sova, or it could be a duelist, it could be Jet, it could be Reyna. If you've played this, even if you've played this character in the past, you don't have as much experience on them as you do on Viper or whoever you play. So why would you throw yourself on an agent that you don't have as much experience on? It genuinely, it doesn't make sense, right? And even though your team already has your role filled, you don't put yourself on a role that you're unfamiliar with just because your team needs it. Like, if you've never played smokes and your team needs smokes, you probably should play smokes, I'm gonna be honest. That's the one exception. But like, if you don't have a sentinel and you're an initiator main, you don't need that. Just play your character. If you've never played a role, don't bother throwing yourself onto it in the middle of a comp game. It doesn't make sense. It genuinely does not make sense. Now, people are gonna flame me. They're gonna be like, oh, Alo, you want people to one-trick and insta-lock Jet and Reyna and Raze every game. I'm not saying that. No, don't do that. That's cringe. That's corny. Don't do that. But what I am saying is that you should have a small agent pool. I'm talking 2 or 3 agents. In my entire time in Diamond, I played Sova and Viper and Astra. I've played Viper on Breeze. I play Sova on every other map except for Split, which I play Astra. And those are my 3. Now, obviously, Sova is the one that's going to take up the main portion of my playtime because he's played on the most maps. And that's what you want. That's what you want, because you're going to learn different scenarios with that agent, and you're going to learn how to counterplay them. And you're going to learn how to use utility differently, and you're going to learn good timings for utility, which is huge. It's so big. Timing in this game is so big. You need to know the proper timing for your utility. If you play a smoke character, you don't want to put your smokes up too early, and by the time your team is pushing in, they're getting shot at from A Heaven on Haven, and your entire team is dying to the Reyna, and she's picking you guys off one by one in A Heaven. You don't want that. You want to play the agents that you know how to play. Say, as I stated previously, just stick with 1 or 2 agents. I'd say 2. 2's a pretty good number. If you want to play duelist, go ahead and play duelist, but I would also have a different type of agent in the back. Personally, I recommend Sova. Sova is super broken right now, and he has been since release, genuinely. And he's just super good. You can play off the shock darts really well. You can swing with this recon dart. You can like shoot it behind an enemy and then swing out in front of them, and they're pinched in between. It's just he's a super good agent, and he obviously gets a lot of intel for the team. And he basically has a Phoenix ult as a C ability for 400 credits. It's insane. So what I'm saying is pick Sova, guys. But yeah, no. So 1 trick your agents, 2 trick your agents. Just don't flex, guys. Please stop flexing. I'm tired of seeing people throw their games away because they flex on agents that they don't know how to play. It's genuinely so upsetting, guys. Stick with what you know. Don't try and veer off from that. Alright, guys. For my 4th tip, anchor your sights, please. Especially if you are playing a support character. If you're playing a duelist, you know what, man? Go ahead. Go for the early rotate. But you better call out to your support character that's playing on site with you to stay there. Because if you have no one on site, you're just giving the enemy team free rotates. Even if you're cutting them off, and let's just say you're cutting them off in mid. If they kill you, they have the site for free. You always want at least 1 person on each site until they literally almost have the bomb down. Straight up. I mean that. I'm so serious when I say that. Here, look, just to prove how vital this is, I'm gonna play a clip right now where I anchored on site with Astra for about, like, it was the entire round. It was the entire round. I anchored the entire round. I did nothing except for watch the cross onto A ramp the entire round on Split. And I ended up winning us a round, and we would have gotten 50'd if I hadn't. So, just that goes to show how important anchoring your sights is in this game. So I'll go ahead and roll the clip now.
Oh, okay.
If they're coming vents, I'm chilling.
They're going vent.
Alright, just try and take aggro off me, and I'm good.
48 Astra. Fence to A.
If possible, swing off me.
Fuck.
One elbow, one elbow.
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Let's go.
This is your side.
And that clip just kind of goes to show how important having good timing is and anchoring your sights are. And I believe having good timing is also very important when anchoring a sight if you get pushed. Because if you push out at the wrong time, like if I pushed out while they were still on A rafters, I could have whiffed and I could have died. But instead I waited till they were up close to me, until they weren't expecting me to swing out, because they had no clue I was on site, guys. So I swung late while they weren't expecting me. They still had to clear everything else. And I swung out at a good time. I got 2 easy kills and won us the round. So anchor your sights, have good timing, and just know when to swing out. Swing out after they clear you, okay? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. You want to swing out after they clear you, not as they're clearing you, but after. Because if you swing out after, you get free kills. And who doesn't like free kills, am I right? Shoot, even I like free kills. Even tens like free kills. No one does not like free kills, guys. So get yours, take your free kills, and win the round. Because you played smart and you anchored on your site. And I'm proud of you for that. Alright, boys, and the last tip I'm going to be talking about is improving your executes. Executes, especially at a high elo, are one of the most important things in Valorant, and I mean that so seriously. How many times have you tried to execute onto a site and got stuffed out by either a molly or smoke, or you just get shot at because no one cleared the corners properly? That's what I'm talking about. If you have a good execute and a good execute strategy, which again goes back to using 1 or 2 agents so that you know what to do on an execute. But anyway, back to this point. If you know what to do on an execute strategy, that is so helpful. Especially like if you know how to throw your utility and when to do it properly, it's genuinely so important. So there are a couple facets to this tip, and I'm going to touch on them briefly. So the first thing I want to touch on is smoke timings. As I previously stated, if you're putting down your smokes too early or too late, you're just gonna get shot at. It's like your smokes don't even exist. So you want to put your smokes down right as your team, or right before your team goes in, so that your smokes stay up throughout the entire execute, and so that hopefully by the time you're playing post plant, you'll have another smoke, so that you can replace another one. And this one is for all my Sky and Phoenix mains out there. You want to practice your flash timings. So especially if you're playing Sky, you're gonna want to flash for your team. Phoenix, maybe not so much. But with Sky, you want to send your bird in first before your teammates go. And you want to do it in a way that they can swing off of it. If you throw a bird and it blinds your entire team, they're screwed. You stuffed your execute by yourself. The enemy didn't even have to do anything. Now your execute's screwed and you have to rotate. But if you practice your flash timings and getting your team in and swinging off your flashes and your team, then you're going to be getting sights for free. It's insane. That's why Sky's so broken right now. Because she gets sights for free. Because she has super good retake and execute utility. The next thing I'm going to be touching on is running in without teammates. So this is, oh gosh, I've seen way too much of this. So if you run in without your teammates, not only are you alone, not only are you going to get crossfired, but no one's going to get your trade, and that's the most important part. Deaths in Valorant are one of the most valuable things. Yes, I did use that word valuable because it genuinely is. Deaths are valuable because, especially if you're on T side, you're gonna kill the enemy. If you're gonna get that free refrag, and that's why death is so valuable. If your teammate dies and you trade them, well, you're in an even scenario, and now you have the advantage because you're on T side. And as we all know, if you're even on T side, you have the advantage. And that's what makes running in without teammates such a big issue. If you do that, you're not gonna get traded, and you're probably not even gonna get a kill. So if you're just running it down A long alone and you die, that is one of the worst ways that you can throw a round away. It's so stupid. It's so easy to fix. Just pay attention to your minimap. Pay attention to where your boys are. Go hug them. Go hug your homies. They're your teammates for the next 45 minutes. Just go get used to them, you know? Don't go off by your lonesome and die. Don't throw your elo. It's not worth it, guys. It's really not. And I kind of already touched on this, but the next point is you want to trade your entries. Like I said, death is super valuable. So if you're getting just trades on your entries, then you're getting intel on where the enemy is, and you're also keeping even on, like, if you're trading your entries, which you want to do almost every time. If you can't do it every time, then you want to do it 99% of the time. Every time that you trade your entries is potentially a free round win, and I mean that genuinely. If you're not trading your entries properly, then you should start entering, and I mean that seriously, because if you're not trading but you're getting traded by your team, then you're the one at fault and you need to start entering. Even if you're not a duelist, if you're playing Sova or Omen and you can't trade but your team is trading you, start baiting yourself. If you would, like, play for the team, win the game, play for your team. And I know that that's gonna hurt someone's ego out there, but I do it. If I'm playing bad and I can't get trades, I'll start going in first. I'll even comment. I'll be like, hey boys, I'm not doing too hot, I'm not getting my trades, I'll go in first, and then they'll trade me out almost every single time, and it works out perfectly. And yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you guys. Just gotta get in there, trade your entries, and if you're not, then you start entering so that you get traded, because that's a super integral part to playing Valorant and getting better at the game, is knowing when to be selfless. Alright, the final thing I'm gonna be touching on in this video is knowing when to rotate. How many times have you tried to go mid and you get either shot, or you're getting crossfired, or just something like that, you're getting utiled, and your team just stays there and just gets destroyed by every single angle because you're getting surrounded? You gotta know when to rotate off. You just gotta know when to rotate. If you're getting stuffed out, just rotate off. It's really not that hard. If you're stuck in a choke point, you need to get out of there. You do not need to stay there, because especially if your whole team is 5-man pushing, you have no other map control. Go get yourself some map control and go get yourself the round that you deserve to win. But anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it, because I had a pretty decent time making this, and I enjoy, giving out some tips, and especially because not a lot of these are talked about, and I feel like these are super important to getting better at the game, especially at higher elos. You're gonna be expected to know this. If you don't do things like everything on this list in game almost consistently, you're gonna get flamed. So you're gonna want to work on these boys. These are super important, and these will help you guys improve a lot, I think. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, be sure to leave a comment. I will be replying to all comments, so just leave a comment. We can have a conversation if you're confused, or if you need some clarity, or if you have another question. I will definitely answer them. So hop in there, leave a comment, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.